mean, isn't this crazy? I mean, I don't even know what to say. I wondered why Lane Kiffin reached out a week ago. Now I know. I mean, I didn't know. Now I know. I didn't call him back. Now I guess I should have.
Yeah, Todd, it is crazy and unprecedented as far as we can tell. You saw on screen there, Dae'Quan Wright situation. The situation, Wright played 4 years in college, 2 at Virginia Tech, 2 at Ole Miss. Then the tight end went undrafted, suited up, didn't play in Cleveland's last preseason game. He'll be waived by the club. And now plans to enter the transfer portal, then enroll at LSU, reuniting with Lane Kiffin. Here's the thing. If Wright would have tried to transfer from Ole Miss to LSU directly this spring, SEC bylaws would have disallowed it. But you get a layover with the Eagles and Browns, then it's cool. Oregon coach Dan Lanning is among those questioning the move.
I think there's a lot of negatives that are involved around this. One, once you go to the NFL, to me, you're in the NFL. You don't get the opportunity to come back. 2, most of us have built our rosters, and you have a limited roster limit now. So if you invited somebody back to your team, that means you're kicking somebody else off your team, right, to match your roster limits. I don't think that's fair to the players that worked all summer, all spring. Ultimately, it used to be once you had an agent, or once you went and did the combine, or once you went to all those things qualified as you are no longer an amateur. You're a professional now once you declare for the draft. So to let any of those players come back, fair or unfair to them, it's unfair to the sport. And I think it's unfair to the players that are on current teams, for those guys to be coming back.
Joining us now, college/minor league football senior writer for ESPN, Pete Thamel. Pete, Dae'Quan Wright is the first player to go from the NFL back to college. What are people saying this means for college football?
Well, John, not surprisingly, there's been a lot of conversation today. I think taking a step back, we've had a lot of firsts in the last 5 years or so since NIL was introduced in college athletics in 2021. And this is certainly one of the most pronounced first. We saw Dae'Quan Wright, who's a very good player, second-team All-SEC tight end at Ole Miss last year, was invited to the Combine, didn't get drafted. We saw him playing in preseason games for the Cleveland Browns in recent days. So the notion, as Adam Schefter reported, of him getting waived and then committing to LSU, which is expected to take place in the upcoming days, certainly is mind-bending from the traditional paradigms that we're used to. So there's been a lot of hand-wringing, and there's also been a lot of angling to see if others can do similar things. This specific case is rooted in a state court ruling in Baton Rouge, not surprisingly. And that state court issued a temporary restraining order which allowed 16 football players to essentially use a loophole to come back. This is tied to the NCAA making the so-called 5-and-5 or age-based eligibility rules. And Dae'Quan Wright is one of the players who played for 4 years in college. And if he had been included in the current class, in that rule had been passed earlier, would have had an option to play back in college this year. So the world is watching. The world is a bit awestruck, and we brave forward into a new frontier.
Everyone likes a good bylaw. Not sure how much of a bylaw expert you are, Pete, but SEC has a bylaw where players cannot transfer in the conference unless they enter within 5 days after the season ends. So what's the reaction in the SEC?
Well, the SEC has yet to say anything about this specific bylaw. There's a sense there that there's still an air of ambiguity of whether the temporary restraining order covers the SEC's purview here, and there was not certainty of that as of Friday. As for the SEC saying something imminently about LSU and Lane Kiffin making this potential acquisition, they have to wait for Dae'Quan Wright to get waived, and then they have to wait for the signing process, and then the decision will be made whether to say something, whether to act, and that's expected to happen within the upcoming days. There's also this, John, I'll leave you with. Dae'Quan Wright is not transferring from Ole Miss to LSU. He is leaving the Cleveland Browns to join the team at LSU. Whether that becomes some legalese that gets parsed, we will see in the upcoming days. It is never boring in the old SEC.
Stand by for news. That's Pete. He's our rock of college football.
Try to knock me off my feet, still standing with more money than I came with. Damn, took a loss, but I'm still up. Gambling man, betting all the chips that I got left.